Hello there, it's good to have you join us for the news on NTA International. My name is Mwadi Elubuike. President Muhammadu Buhari has said his administration will continue to accord agriculture premium importance through programs and initiatives designed to motivate the citizens to produce enough food to feed the nation. Speaking at a farewell meeting with Mr. Hoang Gong Ho, the outgoing ambassador of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam at the State House on Tuesday, President Buhari said the high profile of agriculture and the priorities of his administration was primarily to achieve food self-sufficiency, economic revival, and jobs creation. President Buhari congratulated Vietnam for choosing the correct priorities that have led the country to feed itself and feed the world. Ambassador Ho expressed satisfaction with the growth in relations between his country and Nigeria recorded during his tenure, citing especially the cooperation with several Nigerian states in the area of agriculture, which is producing excellent results. He said his country was ready to play a big part in the economic diversification schemes of the President Muhammadu Buhari administration. The governor of Akwa Ibom State, Udom Emmanuel, has spoken of the need for Nigerians to bury their differences, unite and exhibit high sense of patriotism in supporting the Buhari administration in addressing Nigeria's socio-economic and security challenges. The governor made the request while speaking to State House correspondents after a closed-door meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari. The governor made the request. The State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the group managing director of NNPC, Dr. Meka of Information and Culture, in collaboration with the Alumni Association of the National Institute of Policy and Strategic Studies. Anthony Forson reports.
Since the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture flagged off its town hall meeting series in April, it has continued to elicit a high degree of interest, with Nigerians showing support for the forum. The latest is this special edition in collaboration with the Alumni Association of the National Institute of Policy and Strategic Studies. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, who was represented by the economic advisor to the president, Adeyemi Dikpeolu, said the federal government will leave no stone unturned in growing the nation's economy.
While the government works with dedication to bring about desired change, we welcome insights, proposals, and suggestions on policy initiatives to enhance the delivery of government priorities.
Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, then led the way for the ministers.
The task of nation building is for all Nigerians. Government alone cannot do it.
Udoma Udo Udoma, Minister of Budget and National Planning, Kemi Adeosun, Minister of Finance, and Babatunde Fashola of Power, Works and Housing put the matters straight.
We got our projections right in terms of the price for crude oil. From all the indications we had, we thought it was a reasonable assumption to make, and we have achieved that.
And what we need is the cooperation of everybody, the understanding of the real issues.
We were budgeting averagely 4 trillion. We're going now from there to a budget of 6 trillion when we are earning less than that.
Taking a cursory look at the nation's health sector, the minister played up current efforts being made by government.
We want to offer free surgery to poor people, and we are using the 46 health facilities across the country to offer free surgery to poor Nigerians. The only qualification is that they must be poor or they have no job.
With prospects of a bright future for agriculture, Audogbe spoke with passion.
In spite of the cynicism of some people who don't believe what we're saying, it's a target we will achieve. Youth and women. How do we get young people to take an interest in agric?
Ministers of Environment, Solid Minerals and Foreign Affairs were next in line.
Business as usual hasn't gone away. In fact, it's fighting us back very, very hard. So everything that we say is important in an emergency, the system says, no, I have 30 years to go, you only have 4 or maybe even 3.
We have regained Ajaokuta from long years of legal wranglings, and that now offers us the opportunity to put it out there for those who have the financial capability, who have the technical capacity, who have the track record to help us complete Ajaokuta.
We have over 10 million Nigerians in the diaspora, and they're investing back in the country over $20 billion.
The Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saad Abubakar, and the president of ANI, General Lawrence Onoja, spoke at the event, saying ANI is poised to contribute to nation building.
We urge that both the government and the governments must come with clean hands.
Sit together and think out programs that will emphasize belief in this country and belief in the concept of change.
Similarly, the Executive Director News, Shola Atere, also on behalf of the Director General NTA, received in audience members of the Center for Peace and Environmental Justice, a non-governmental organization advocating peaceful coexistence and environmental sustainability.
We should allow the environment to also have its own justice. Treat the environment well if you want to be treated well by the environment.
So there's no doubt about that we need peace generally if the human race is to develop.
The group is seeking the collaboration of the NTA due to what they say is because of its credibility with key functions to provide independent and impartial television broadcasting for the general interests of Nigeria. Adebola, Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
On education, the Minister, Adamu, has presented a reform initiative that will achieve the goal of improving quality in basic and secondary education to make expansion go hand in hand with progress towards better learning. Franka Uzoma-Olua reports that the dissemination of the National Quality Assurance Handbook provides answer to numerous challenges affecting education quality in Nigeria.
Quality assurance in education covers such areas as improving quality of teachers, provision of textbooks and other instructional materials, teaching and learning processes, as well as governance. It represents a radical change in thinking from the former practice of school inspection to a monitoring and evaluation process, especially with a working handbook as a guide to achieve educational quality service.
The fact that quality education ranks number 4 on the list of sustainable development goals and the present government's focus on quality education all attest to the need for this handbook.
The handbook captures emerging issues in basic and secondary education that align with global best practices.
The Universal Basic Education Commission, in collaboration with State Universal Basic Education Boards, SUBEBs, have conducted the 2014 capacity building of quality assurance officers in the 36 states.
It is even more important to have the tools and processes in place to monitor and improve quality and equity in the education system.
The idea is to promote uniform and standard education quality assurance process and practice in the basic and secondary education system. Franka Uzoma-Olua, NTA News.
The federal government, in collaboration with the International Water Management Institution, has introduced a smartphone application for flood forecasting along Niger and Benue rivers. The aim is to put farmers on alert, as well as provide them the opportunity to utilize both surface and underground water for dry season farming. Musa Baba Aliu reports.
Flooding is among the major environmental challenges affecting agricultural activities in Nigeria. On an annual basis, tons of crops and number of livestock worth billions of naira are lost due to flooding, thereby threatening food security in Nigeria. The smartphone is expected to forecast and provide data on the amount of expected rain, the ground moisture before and after commencement of rainy season.
What this app does is to provide that early warning opportunity to be able to take necessary remedial measures to ensure that lives are protected, agricultural production is guaranteed.
The extension agents will be trained, and once that one is trained, it keeps on training. Then the farmers themselves, at their level, can still teach their neighbors.
Meanwhile, The Nigeria Hydrological Services said the volume of water flowing into River Niger remains a threat to about 20 states in the country and urged state governors to evacuate their communities from riverbank.
And those who are in the floodplains, evacuate those areas very, very fast, because it takes about 9 days for this water to travel from Niamey down to Lokoja. And right now, since when we got the information, it's about maybe 3 days or thereabout.
So far, 20 states
Hope and Recuperation, which held art lovers spellbound.
The theme is anti-corruption, and what the artist has done is to bring creativity into the advocacy against corruption and into supporting a major agenda of the government.
For others, there can be no better way to disseminate the message other than this piece of art.
It's impressive that an artist is beginning to conceive in various mediums the very idea of fighting corruption.
What he painted depicting the president tearing the tiger, you will see that that work exemplifies what is really happening. When you fight corruption, corruption fights back.
45-year-old Dada Kehinde is also the inventor of acrylic on lithographic plates. Chiazalam Ekiye, NTA News.
You are watching the news on NTA International, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. Stay tuned for more reports after this timeout.
Information is power. Everyone wants power. So feel powerful with the NTA News mobile app, the one-stop information center. Real news at your fingertip. Be the first to report by uploading first-hand information on the U-Report link. And be the first to know by simply clicking on any of the links on the sidebar for headlines, domestic and foreign news, economy, security, politics, sports, and more. Stream live on your smartphone and tablets and stay connected. It's pretty easy. Simply download NTA News app from your Google Play Store and you're good to go. NTA News mobile app, your access to real-time information.
Glad to have you back. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has cleared the air over the personal travel allowance agreements for pilgrims, which has sparked an outrage in the past week. Addressing the issue, Governor of the CBN, Godwin Emefiele, said it was not a concession as erroneously painted, but a fulfillment of a long-standing agreement reached between the Apex Bank and the Religious Pilgrims Commissions. Liekatun Babatunde brings us up to speed on this development.
Over the years, both the National Hajj Commission and the Christian Pilgrims Commission have had to meet with the Central Bank of Nigeria to fashion out the appropriate ways to deal with personal travel allowance PTA for intending pilgrims way ahead of time. And this time, this circular became the source of an outrage, particularly over a portion that states CBN was given a concession of 197 naira to $1 for pilgrims after it had closed the official window and allowed the naira to float freely. Governor of the Central Bank, Godwin Emefiele, in clarifying this issue at hand, said it became imperative to set the record straight and the agreement was not reached with only one religion.
It's a contract that had been agreed, and you will agree with me, if you were in the same shoes as the pilgrims, you will not be happy that, and I will consider that as inappropriate, that you expect that they will now pay, haven't committed their funds long before today.
Mr. Emefiele also took time to address concerns over the agreement signed with a sector that has no economic advantage to the country.
It is an obligation that somebody feels he wants to perform. So there's nothing like saying it is not important, and we should not ascribe the level of importance to people's personal, I use the word personal interest, either to go for pilgrimage or to go for a business travel or personal travel or for summer travel.
The Central Bank said it will be inappropriate to return to the pilgrims who had committed their funds for this purpose long time ago for an upward review to tally with recent foreign exchange rates when the agreement reached were done with the now contentious amount. In Abuja, Liekatun Babatunde, NTA News.
Chiazalam Ekiye has more stories from the financial sector. Let's join her.
It's good to have you join us on this segment of the news. We begin by informing you that international prices for major food commodities saw a modest decline in July following 5 consecutive months of increase. The FAO Dairy Price Index rose by 3.2% from the previous months, with butter pricing seeing the sharpest rise. Vegetable oil price also dropped to 20%, while meat price index increased by 1.3% from its June value. The FAO Sugar Price Index rose by 2.2%. The FAO Food Price Index is a trade index that tracks international market prices for 5 major food commodity groups. Meanwhile, the economy began the third quarter on a negative note as productive activity declined further in July. Manufacturing subsector contracted further in July, while non-manufacturing business activity sub-index increased as firms round down raw material inventory. And finally, trading on the equities market closed today on a negative note as the all share index lost 0.45%.
Diversity into cognizance, and it should be made to suit, made for purpose.
We are looking beyond just accessing finance in form of loan. We are looking at the ability to be able to make payments.
Resolutions from the roundtable are expected to be forwarded to relevant government agencies for action. Femi Okeowu, NTA News.
The quality of governance is determined by the quality of service delivered to citizens and how much such services have met the needs and expectations of citizens. Acting National Coordinator Servicom, Nenna Akajemeli, said this when she visited the Director General, NYSC, Brigadier General Sule Kazore in Abuja. Olayinka Ojo reports.
In Nigeria, public service is being radically revolutionized and repositioned to enhance the quality of services rendered through the Office of Servicom, hence the visit to the NYSC. With the aim of sustained service improvement, functionality and performance of the NYSC management and its customers who are Youth Corps members, Mrs. Nenna Akajameli said there's the need for an NYSC Servicom integrated charter.
This we need to have regular reports to the DG and management, and every management Servicom report should come up.
Director General NYSC, Brigadier General Sule Kazauri, emphasizing customer satisfaction through effective service delivery as priority, added that the scheme will not compromise its efficiency of openness, transparency, responsiveness, and commitments.
In order to ensure quality,
told his visiting Turkish counterpart, Tayyip Erdogan, in St. Petersburg. Reports say Erdogan's first foreign trip since the attempted coup last month was to restore trade and relations between the two countries, which plugged into crisis last November when Turkey